John Siciliano grew up in Pittsburgh. He always loved sports. And later during college, he also loved acting and the theater. But at age 23, as a passenger in a Jeep, his life quickly changed.
June 13th, 1993. It was about 1:45, right before the bars were ready to close. I was with a bunch of my friends, college friends, and we were in our Jeep on our way to the diner. I was in the passenger seat with a girl in my lap, and three of my friends were in the back, when another Jeep came through a red light and just, I woke up. 2 days later, I was in intensive care. I had a trachea pipe in my throat. I had a neck brace on, and they had me handcuffed. So I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything. So I kept writing notes. I can't feel my leg, I can't feel my leg. No one's, you'll be okay, John, you'll be okay. And I started freaking out. The doctor came over and he said, John, we had to amputate your leg 4 inches above your right knee. Those are some devastating words to hear for a 23-year-old athlete going to school for acting. Now what? And that was probably the lowest I've felt. Just grabbed my father and cried about it.
After the operation, John was fitted with an artificial leg.
For Pittsburgh-born John Siciliano, these are the best of times. Ready to go as an American gold medal favorite on the track in the 100 and 200 meters. And so a career in track was in motion. It's May in Atlanta, the Paralympics trials. In the 100 meters, disaster. John's leg detaches, but this is no quitter. It's the 200 meters. John blazes to a national record and a spot on the Olympic team.
To make the Paralympic team in 1 year was the biggest accomplishment I could ask for, and I'm going to give it my all, and I'm going to go for the gold.
The Paralympics began in Olympic Stadium, and it was quite a show. 65,000 people, 3,500 athletes, energy, emotion, anticipation, a memorable night.
Exploded off the line, and that's when I actually felt I felt the leg go a little bit. But you know, the last thing I wanted to think was negative thoughts in my head. You know, it was all positive. So what? I'm gonna run till this thing, I don't care what happens. And I ran and about 80 meters, it was just slipping worse and worse. It's like you hit a wall. I felt everyone coming, the leg was just slipping off. So for about 25, 30 meters, I ran strictly, I guess, with my heart, because my leg was off and my bone was just hammocking in there. And, you know, quitting's not in my vocabulary. And just like any of these guys out here, you train too hard not to cross that finish line. I don't care what happens. If I've got to crawl, I was going to finish that race, you know. You just don't quit. Just hope I send a positive message to everybody out there watching, with disabilities and without disabilities. Just the whole idea of the Paralympics and how hard athletes train right now for this. And it's going to take a lot more than someone to lose a leg to stop people from crossing the finish line. You know, you just don't give up. Some strength inside carried me across that line.
John used that same strength to continue modeling and acting. He completed a graduate theater program at USC. John wrote and performed his life story, Siciliano, in a solo performance in a New York theater.
I went to Maine, locked myself up, and I wrote my story, starting from the car accident. And the play's about loss. And it was amazing when I was working with the director up there. He asked me if there was anything worse that happened to me than losing my leg. And I said, yeah, when I was 9, I came in and my mom was dying on the kitchen floor. Because not everyone can identify with losing a leg, but everyone can identify with loss. And we've all lost something, a loved one. And it wasn't until then, of really mourning the loss of my leg and accepting this, I've truly stifled that pain of a 9-year-old boy of losing my mom. Twisting into guardrail on right. Door acutes. Leg, pin between engines, seared off its block and rocketing back and pitching side frame. Body twists like corkscrew. Leg is the cork. Cork is rotten. Screw shears. I used to think my whole life was about loss.
And in the TV series ER, John played a crazed homeless amputee.
Oh, yes. She took it. Give it back.
What would I want with your leg?
You tell me, you pervert.
Can you describe the leg?
Yeah. Looks just like this one, only it's plastic.
Now John is jogging 5 miles a day, every other day, to prepare for the Triathlon Challenge. His message to the disabled and the abled is simple.
Do the best with what you got. And try not to ever give up, whatever your dream is. Just, there's no reason to give up on it. Me losing my leg, it's taken years to figure out why. So my mom could have a little piece of me up in heaven. In 1993, I was a college soccer player, 22-year-old, you know, tip-top shape, can't hurt me, 22-year-old, right? Summertime, got this new job, lifeguarding at the wave pool, had it all figured out. Ended up going out and meeting some buddies for some drinks. Met some girls and we decided to all go to a diner, and when I left the bar I yelled shotgun, so I jumped in the front seat of the Jeep, cruising through the streets of Pittsburgh, beautiful summer night, no roof, no doors. Bam! The loudest crunch I've ever heard in my life. Drunk driver ran a red light and smashed me, and so it was a really bad car accident that resulted in an amputation of my right leg, 4 inches above my right knee. So I was pretty devastated. But in physical therapy, there was a physical therapist who gave me a brochure, and on this brochure were these 2 Paralympic athletes, above knee and a below knee amputee with these USA jerseys on. And it inspired me so much that I put that Paralympic brochure up in my room, and I looked at it every day and was like, maybe that could be me sometime. So I went through the rehab and, you know, definitely had my down points and got sad and depressed about it. But when it was time to get my first prosthetic leg, I was just really excited. They unveiled my first prosthetic leg, and it looked nothing like the leg that was on the brochure. Welcome to the world of medical insurance, John. So I didn't have any medical insurance when I got hurt, so I had to get on the state system, and they gave me a leg, but it wasn't a leg I could run on. So anyway, I got that brochure out, and I ended up calling that company until that guy on the brochure returned my phone call and agreed he'd meet me up in New York. And I was, Santa had nothing on this guy as I went up there and I met this above-knee amputee, and he ran 100 meters for me and lit me up and inspired me. And if he can do it, then I can do it. So I ended up getting some people to help me out and get behind me to get me a leg that I could run on. And my first track meet, 1995 US Nationals, I got down in the blocks and I looked over, you know, and there he is, right, the guy in the brochure. And he killed everybody. I had to run under a 17.5 to qualify for the Paralympic trials. So I ran a 17.44, which gave me another year. So I went back to Pittsburgh and ended up training real hard, and in 1996, the Paralympic trials, I got down in the blocks and I looked over. There was the guy in the brochure. And I ended up breaking the 200-meter record and ended up going to the 1996 Paralympic Games with the guy in the brochure.
Great.
So
Great.
that was really put me on the map in sports. And so I competed for the U.S. team for a while and moved out to California here. And now I'm getting into triathlons. And they're making it a Paralympic sport. And so right now, so it's a 750-meter swim, 14-mile bike, 3-mile run.
It's a perfect distance for me. So I started training a month ago, and the Nationals are Memorial Day in Austin, Texas. So my goal is to make the U.S. national team, and then I can go to Worlds in New Zealand next September, and hopefully the Paralympics again. So I'm coming out of retirement and getting the triathlons, and here I am.
Describe your pain experience and what kinds of treatments that was offered to you in this long course that you've been through.
Well, actually, not much has been offered, and I'm dealing with severe phantom pains and my lower back now, and that's 18 years of being an amputee, 16 years of running. I don't want it to stop me. I refuse to let it stop me, and that's why I'm here. I want to deal with, figure out this pain. How can we get it under control and get me back out there run biking and swimming? Family pain, they're pretty intense. I feel my pain in a foot that is not there, and that's what's mind-boggling, actually. It's really, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to, I don't want to deal with this phantom pain anymore. I really don't, and I'm here to see if you can help me out. It's just, they're alive. I'm definitely.
What are you feeling?
I'm feeling like phantom pains.
You feeling what?
I'm feeling like they're going away.
They are. Good. That's good. That's a positive thing.
You know what? Have her go and have them try to do some strengthening. If she wants, I'll talk to her.